All right, we're going to get right into it. So all questions asked in this forum were gathered and generated with resident input and part of an extensive effort to make voting easy, interactive, and fun. A note that the purpose of this forum is to provide a platform for residents to engage with their candidates on issues that are important to them in order to make an informed decision at the polls. This is not a debate. We ask the audience members joining us in person be respectful. Clapping is welcome, but heckling will not be tolerated. With that, I'll pass it over to our candidates, who will open up the floor for candidate introductions and opening statements. Candidates will get 1 minute each, and we'll start in alphabetical order with candidate Chow.
Thank you, Yasmin. Good evening, everyone. Sabadi to Kun Lao and Ola. And so Sabadi Okney Bongpon Khmer. I want to thank Lowell for hosting this candidate forum, LTC for filming this, and the Pollard Memorial Library. What a beautiful place this is. My name is Sakari Chow. I am currently the mayor of the city. I ran the second time I was elected all the at-large council. This term I was elected both as a district councilor and as mayor of the city. We have accomplished a lot, and obviously we have more to do, but one of the most important things that I've been proud of was to open City Hall to the public. Thank you.
Thank you, LTC, Lowell Votes, for putting on this event. My name is Justin Savung Ford. I'm a Lowell resident. I grew up in New Hampshire. I went to school at Middlesex Community College here in the city, and then later used that to get into UMass Lowell. And in my time at school, I decided to join the Army as a paralegal. I did that for 5 years of my time working in the prosecutions team, and I think that my experience in that role helps me be a great candidate for city council when we need people who can get things done in a timely order, as well as following policies and procedures. My 3 biggest things I want to deliver to the city is affordable housing, green energy solutions, and direct representations. So I hope I can earn your support by November 7th. My name is Justin Savung Ford, and I'm running for District 6 in the Lower Islands. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Lowell Votes and LTC for putting on this forum. My name is John Leahy. I'm currently the District 3 City Councilor. I had the privilege of being elected the mayor last term, and that was a great honor. And even though we went through the pandemic, it honestly kind of worked out for me because I like to get into things. I like to get my hands dirty, and it was a time where we had to really knuckle down and do a lot of hard work, and that was very rewarding for me. As far as being your counselor for District 3, I do the same thing every day. I'm out in the neighborhood and work locally. I have a local painting business, and I'm on the street, I'm in the neighborhoods, and I'm out there for you trying to do the work that you want done in the city and in your district. And I hope you would support me for another term. Thank you.
Hello, Lowell, and thank you for City Vote and the LTC. My name is Fru Nde Kimbeng. I have been in Lowell for about 38 years. I have been in Lowell, and Lowell has given me so much, and I believe that to whom much is given, much is expected. It is about time. I have been given all my life to Lowell, and most people have told me to be able to stand up and vote for and work for them. The reason I enter this race is to give back to Lowell, is to advocate for District 7 to get its fair share at City Hall. It's also to work to build bridges between the community, the City Hall, the Lowell Police, and also to act as a spokesperson for District 7. I ask for your vote on November 7. I have listened a while and thank you.
Hello, Ola and Tuesday. I'm Lowell City Councilor Paul Ratayam. I represent District 7, including Daegu. My first term in the office is pretty much about reshaping the directions and visions of the city, including District 7. I humbly ask for your vote November 7 to send me back to the City Council to implement those visions. My priorities are the acronym of the word ACRE. A stands for affordable housing and infrastructure. C stands for community safety and quality of life. R for respect and honor of veterans and elders. E for economic development and environment. I humbly ask for your vote November 7 to send me back to the City Council to implement those visions. Thank you. Gracias. Open Charan.
Thank you, candidates. We'll move to the first round of our candidate question and answer. For this round, we have 3 questions, and candidates will each get 1 minute to answer, starting in alphabetical order. We'll start with candidate Rathayam this time. Now I'll pass to our questioners, who will ask the first question.
So the first question to you is, what do you believe are the primary responsibilities of a city councilor, and what do you hope to accomplish if elected?
Thank you very much for the question, and thanks for the low vote and LC for putting this together. As a city councilor, we represent our district. As a district representative, we listen to our constituent, and that's what we are elected to represent our district, especially in the acre. The acre is one of the 2 majority, and most of the people English is their second language. So it is time for District 7, the acre, to have someone represent them give them voice and give them representation that has never been represented before in the acre. I thank you for your support.
As a city council, you are a servant of the people. And I pledge, as I walk the trail, I listen to the district. I walk and talk to people, I don't drive by. And from what they have told, I learned that I really need to pay a close attention to be the voice, to bring the concern of District 7 to represent them at City Hall. So I will work tirelessly to make that District 7 has its fair share of the budget. And I will not be just an office holder. I will be an active participant, a voice, so that District 7 and people of Lowell get what it deserves. I would be the servant of the people. Thank you.
Thank you. What it means to me to be a city councilor is foremost to give you my integrity. It's not about what I want. It's not about what I can gain. It's about what's best for the city, what's best for my district, to make sure that we have safety, make sure our schools are running the best that they can, that we have the best superintendent, and to make sure that the manager we hire listens to the council and addresses the needs that we bring to him on Tuesday night. So that's what I think I do. That's what I try to do. And I try to be honest and listen to the constituents. As a district councilor, it's a little bit different, focusing on my district, but also focusing on the city to make sure that it's run the best it can be. And that can just be everyday, quality of life issues up to economic development. Thank you.
Thank you for this question. What do I think the primary responsibilities for a city councilor is? Making residents' quality of life better. Also, hiring a city manager and making sure that the city manager is held accountable, making sure the city manager reaches certain milestones. The city manager is one of the most important jobs when you think about it, because in the city of Lowell, the city manager is the one who runs the city, unlike a city like Boston where the mayor does. It's different in the city of Lowell. The city manager has the power. The city manager is elected by the body of the council, and therefore the council is the one that needs to hold him accountable. So that's very important. Also, listening to the residents on the ground, building a strong budget for the residents, and just delivering on affordable housing, on green energy solutions, and direct representation in our district. That's what we have to do as councilors. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Many candidates here mentioned a lot of things that are important to all of us. To me, it's to listen, to act on it, and also to care about your residents, to care about your neighborhoods, to care about the people you work with, and also to respect everybody, not only to listen, to act, but also to have results. In the past couple of years, both acting as the mayor and the council, I have brought a lot of changes to the neighborhoods. We brought a lot of monies, a lot of fundings into, I'm going to talk specifically about the districts since I'm running for re-election in my district. We brought fundings to the Camden Town area, a lot of street paving in my neighborhood, and also to have results for school education. Not to have results doesn't mean make sure you have quality schools for the children, the teachers, and the staff to work at. Make sure you come to a resolution, not just to listen, but to act and bring it to fruition. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. We'll start this time with candidate forward, and I'll pass it over to our questioner, Sophie, to ask the next question.
According to a study published by UMass Lowell, over 13% of the Acre residents walk to work. What are some ideas you have to make our city more accessible and safe for pedestrians, folks with physical disabilities, and bicyclists? Thank you.
Thank you for this question, Sophie. This is a good question because walking in the District 6, there's a lot of concerns that come up to me. And one of the concerns is the heat islands in that district. Because of the excessive concrete and the lack of trees and shading and canopy, it makes our area a lot hotter than other parts of the city. So that makes it uncomfortable for your quality of life walking around the district. So I think one of the ways we could do better in that field is by providing businesses in that area with canopies, and when we're redoing our streets and sidewalks, to make sure we think about putting trees, make sure we look into putting trees and stuff like that in there. So also, disabilities, we make sure that our sidewalks are taken care of. I think we need to have a 5-year plan to attack our sidewalks and streets and make sure when we do that plan that we have include the streets that haven't got done in that paving plan to get it done. But we need to get this done in the next 5 years.
Thank you. Yes, we've had a lot of turnover in the last few years with DPD and other department heads. Sidewalks are very important. It seems like what we do is lately we've been doing it in chunks, I guess. We're doing a lot of sidewalks in certain areas, and it costs a lot of money. So I think what we should be focusing on is trying to spread that money out throughout the neighborhoods. But the sidewalks have to be addressed, and we need some stability. We need to earmark this money, and we need to make sure that we have as Justin said, a 5-year plan to make sure that these sidewalks get done and spread it out throughout the district and throughout the city to make sure that people are safe and they can walk comfortably on our neighborhood sidewalks without any tripping hazards. And obviously, in certain neighborhoods, we want to make sure that we're not just chopping down the trees. So we have to have a plan to work around the trees and other obstacles. But we can't just do what we did 10 years ago when we chopped down all the trees in the highlands. That's very important that we do not do that.
Safety is very important. I will work with the police to encourage community policing. Also, I would also like to clear the walk paths. And also, we talked about we should be able to put guides at the intersection and also make sure that the lights are working. And secondly, we also have to make sure that the elderly, they have some adults with them that guides the kids from back to and back from school. Safety should be a community issue, not just the police issue. I would like to involve the community to be able to, you see something, you say something, so that everyone in the neighborhood should be protected.
Thank you very much for the good questions. And I lived in the Acre for 30 years. The city council, along with the mayor and then the city manager, during the past budget hearing, the city and the city council voted to allocate a good amount of money for pedestrian, sidewalk, and then line painting in the city, in the Acre particularly. As you can see, there's many more line painting. The Acre needs new updated for the sidewalk. It's all broken up. The street has been neglected. If you go to Bauer Street and then Salem Street around that area is really in a bad situation. I have the resident that request the city to paint crosswalk at the corner of Merrimack and Aiken Street this past Tuesday, and the city did right away, painting the sidewalk, the crosswalk to help the children cross the street safely. So this is what's important for the city of Lowell.
Pass it on to Candidate Chow.
Thank you for the microphone, and that's a great question. I know the question deals with walking to work. It brings back a memory. I used to walk to work when I was much younger, and I would also add a bicycle path, because I include walking and bicycling as a pedestrian issues. And we do need to make sure that our sidewalk are safe, and safe for the bicycle lane as well. I don't walk or bike to work anymore. Now I walk for exercise, but I walk around Cambodia town for shopping. I walk around downtown for shopping. So we really need to make our city to be a walkable city. There's so many benefits to everything, not just for economics, but for health, for the vibrancy of the city. The money coming in now that's in the work, we plan to rebuild sidewalk around Cambodia town. And every planning now with streets and roads in general, there is a focus on making sure that we include a safe sidewalk for everybody.
Thank you, candidates. For our last question of this round, we'll start with candidate Leahy. Luciana?
In July of this year, City Manager Tom Golden announced the hiring of a new Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer for the city. What do you believe is the next step in building on DEI best practices, and what policies would you support to advance equity in the city?
Thank you. Yes, so this year we did hire our second DEI officer, and we did ask for a report. She's going to present it. I don't think she has yet, but it's going to be a report on what her idea of the office is, her goals, how she can assist the city. So this is really not my strong point here, but basically we want good policy. We want to be fair. We want to make sure that our department heads and our city staff reflect the city. So I'm looking forward to her report. And again, we just want to make sure that, we're doing what we can in the city to make it a better place to live and work. So thank you.
Diversity is very important because I don't believe in the aspect of melting pot. I believe in a bowl of salad, so that you look at the city, it reflects its habitant. So I will also insist that the law should be also open, so that the candidates who apply for jobs should be made public, so that we know those who apply with their qualification and the hiring system. It's not that if we want to be transparent, we should be transparent, because diversity should be in that everyone should be part of the community. Our diversity should be our strength, and there is no one who thinks that it can work for all. So I will insist that the laws of the book should be well explained to everyone, and that everything should be transparent, so that every participant in Lowell should be able to be a candidate, and give preference also to Lowellians.
Thank you so much for the question. And this is the question that dear near to my heart, because I used to work at the Executive Office of Public Safety and also the Attorney General's Office in the Civil Rights Division. So the city of Lowell, this office is very important. Make sure that the hiring process is reflective of the diversity of our community, that everyone will be included, and equity is shared between all parts of the resident. So my thought is that the next report to receive from the DEI officer is to show that that she has worked with all the departments head to come up with ways to diversify the workforce and how to hire minorities to be part of the city workforce to reflect the population of the city. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. The DI officer, her name is Annabelle Dominguez. She's of Hispanic and Latinx background. Not only does she have both academic and professional experience, she has a lived experience, and that's very, very important. If you look at the candidates up here, the majority of us are of minority, and as well as people in our city. So not only you're combining, when you only go through the lived experience like we do, they would understand things that might not be shown up in data and so forth. So I speak with her very often about what her goals are, what my goals are, what the council's goals are. And I think to put it in small bits and pieces here, given a short time frame, is that we really want to make sure that the professionals, the workers, the first responders at the police department, the fire department, policy even at the school level, make sure they reflect us, they look like us, they look like the residents in the city.
So the next step for the DEI officer, I believe, would be to hold some forums in each district for the city councilors. Use these forums to get some feedback from these councilors and constituents on what they would like to get done for the best practices of DEI. Work with the city manager on this. This is one area where councilors and the city manager can work very closely to get done. To advance equity, that means to have hiring practices that are public. The process needs to be shared with us. We need to make sure it's being done in a fair way. Too many times our city gets in trouble because we're not doing our hiring practices in fair ways, or we're going around it and it's not looking right. So we need to have a hiring practice that's very clear and out front for the residents to understand, so there's no confusion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, candidates. We're going to move on to the speed round next, which consists of 2 sections. the yes or no questions, and the knowledge section. We're going to start with the yes or no questions. I'll ask a series of yes or no questions, which all the candidates will answer using our yes or no signs. Candidates are not allowed to elaborate further and can only respond using the yes or no questions. Okay, Sophie?
So the first question is, currently Lowell City Councilor switches from a weekly meeting schedule to bi-weekly meetings from June through September. Should the City Council continue to hold only bi-weekly meetings during the summer?
In August of this year, another sober living facility opened up in Lowell. Would you support the creation of additional housing for residents dealing with substance abuse?
Several cities in Massachusetts, including Cambridge and Somerville, have adopted participatory budgeting practices, a system in which community members have the power to decide how to spend part of a public budget. Would you support the implementation of participatory budgeting process in Lowell?
More than a year ago, the City Council began to explore the possibility of creating an accessory dwelling unit ordinance in the city. The change in ordinance will allow homeowners to build small housing units within or on their properties. As it stands, 2/3 of the city is zoned exclusively for traditional single-family homes. Do you support changing Lowell's ordinances to allow for ADUs as currently proposed?
Thank you. We'll move on to our knowledge section. For the second and final section of our speed round, the candidates will put their knowledge of Lowell and the people of Lowell to the test by answering a series of questions about the demographics of Lowell. All candidates will answer every question by writing down their answers on their whiteboard. Candidates will have 30 seconds to respond and hold up their whiteboard before our questioners read out the correct answer.
All right, the first question is, according to Lowell Public Schools, how many languages are spoken in Lowell?
Whenever you're ready. I see a 70 plus, a 20, over 62, 7, 72. And the correct answer is at least 72.
Next question is, according to the U.S. Census data, what percentage of housing in Lowell is owner-occupied?
They have tissues. 60%, 43, 42, 65, 45. Correct answer is 43%.
All right, the next question is, Community Teamwork's most recent community needs assessment found what top 3 community needs?
We have housing, jobs, transportation, housing, education, safety, housing, jobs, education, affordable housing, language access and transportation, housing, healthcare, food security. Correct answers are creation of quality affordable housing, industry and employment, and mental health and counseling. Right.
According to the housing website like Zillow, Rocket Homes, and Realtor.com, what is the median listing home price in Lowell?
see, 350,000, 450,000, 550,000, 400,000, and 458,000. And correct answer is 430,000.
All right. So, according to the U.S. Census data, immigrants make up what percentage of Lowell?
See, 49%, 33%, 35%, 55%, and 43%. Correct answer is 28%. Okay. All right. Let's give our candidates a round of applause. That's hard. Okay. We're going to move into our second round of our candidate question and answer. For this round, we'll have 3 questions again, and candidates will each get 1 minute to respond. We'll start with candidate Nkimbeng. And I'll pass it on to our questioners to read out the first question.
The 2022 Greater Lowell Health Needs Assessment identified substance abuse and addiction, including opioids, alcohol, and tobacco, as among the most serious unmet needs in Greater Lowell. How can we better meet the needs of residents struggling with addiction?
Substance abuse touched me right in the heart. We should actually implement compassionate solutions. And I think that before we bring up solutions, we should talk to these people who are sick. Some of them, it's very difficult to start making decisions without talking to the patient. They have very good solutions. So I will first of all start by talking to them and involving the sociologists, the psychologists, and the police to actually be involved in taking inventory as to what their problems are to be able to provide a solution. I really think that we should use a compassionate approach to these people because it's not their own fault. Today can be them, tomorrow can be ours. So we should see that use human solutions to be able to address this problem comprehensively. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. The city council and the city administration have created a homeless coordinator and working with the health department and the police department, and then the stakeholders to create this co-op that will go to help the unhoused population, especially because they are in mental issues and substance abuse, by providing the alternative. They can get to a house, or they can seek medical assistance and at the site where the unhoused population are living. And the important part is that very difficult if the resident unhoused are struggling with addiction and mental health and they do not want services. I think there should be a protocol to bring them, to use the services that needed to help them get better. Thank you.
That's an excellent question. It's a very heartfelt question. We're lucky in Lowell. There are so many partners that are working on the issues of mental health and addiction, like CTI, Lowell Health Community Center, Lowell House. But what I want to focus on is to try to get to the younger age, the school-age children. The recent statistics show there's an increase in mental health issue with the younger population, as young as 7 years old all the way to about 24. We need more mental health counseling provided at school level, middle school and high school, to make sure that they're well educated and make sure they get the help early on before it gets serious into the adult years.
Thank you for this question. Addiction, that's something that's close to my heart. Last year, I lost my sister to opioid addiction. So this is something that I really do care about, and I think that we really do need to solve in the city. When it comes to substance abuse and things like that, we need to look at people with a compassionate lens. People become addicted to a lot of different substances for a lot of reasons. And like Sakari was saying, we need to attack school-age children with making sure that we give them mental health access, because that's where it starts. We need to make sure we educate them there. I also think that we need to bring in our nonprofits, our city leaders, and our residents to also ask them how we should proceed with this. But this is one of the biggest things in our city right now, along with our housing shortage. So if we can attack these two things together, I think it could bring great change in our city. Thank you.
Thank you. This is an excellent question. I think that we really have to force our federal and state leaders to get serious about this. And what I mean by that is We need more people going into the healthcare profession. We need to open up facilities. This affects everybody. Probably everybody in this room has somebody that's affected by this. And it's so frustrating when someone's reaching out for help and you can't get them the help they need. Either a doctor, a counselor, a service, a room. This really needs to be addressed, and it needs to be taken very, very serious. You know, in my own family, cousins, uncles, you know, friends of mine, you go to take someone to a facility to get them in, and there's no rooms available. There's no help. That is the worst feeling in the world when somebody says, sorry, we can't help you today. There's something wrong with that, and that's what needs to change.
Move on to our next question, and we'll start with candidate Yam.
In December of last year, as part of a UMass Lowell course titled Climate Crisis in Society, students partnered with the city to collect tree data, which aimed to help the city develop an urban forestry master plan to increase shade and mitigate urban heat islands, which according to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency occurs when cities replace natural land covers with dense concentration of pavement, buildings, and other surfaces that absorb and retain heat. This increases heat-related illnesses, mortality, air pollution levels, and energy costs. Which steps would you take to mitigate the effects of urban heat islands in Lowell?
Thank you for the question, and this is also a very important topic to me because the acre is the largest heat islands due to the fact that if you walk down Market Street to Salem Street, you see all these concrete buildings that are part of the Lowell Housing Authority. And I had a meeting with both the UMass Lowell Chancellor Chen and then the Director of Housing Authority, Ta Chan, to find a way to mitigate and to reduce the heat island in the acre by planting more trees, and then also to implement some of the steps so that we would reduce the carbon emission by 25% by 2025 and climate neutrality by 2050. And the city of Lowell created the first ever this sustainability department with a director to make sure that we can, implement these important issues. Thank you.
There is a lot to like about Lowell. Lowell is blessed to have a UMass Lowell, my alma mater. I would build that collaboration with UMass Lowell. I have already met with the environmental department chair twice, and they have said that there is a pilot program that is going on in District 7, which UMass Lowell will use the thermal heat to be able to heat the buildings there, and that will be better than the fossil fuel. And by doing that, they will be able to bring some employment in that area because of the use the citizens of that area to be able to sensitize and educate the people in that environment. I think that it is really important and very, very important for District 7 and the City Hall to be able to foster and nurture that relationship between UMass Lowell. These are experts, they know more than the politicians, so we should rely on their advice and the skills that they bring. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, this is where we foster these partnerships, work with UMass Lowell, Middlesex Community College, and the city, and we partner. We see what we can do to increase the trees, to reduce the parking lots, whatever the cause is. So this is, again, as Fru said, this is where we rely on our partnerships, and we do the best we can. And we just, have to really have a 10-year plan, 25-year plan to make sure that we do better. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I already kind of answered this question before when I was talking about heat islands, but like I said before, our district, District 6, is one of the hottest districts in the city of Lowell, and that's due to the lack of shading, due to the lack of trees, due to the abundance of concrete. And I think, like I said before, some of the ways to deal with that is canopies over businesses, providing residents with solutions to cool their homes as well, because during the summertime it gets very hot as well. Climate crisis is very real, and we need to address it. And the best way to address it is at the city level. And I think another way we could do that is by going 100% green on renewable energy as well in the city. We're already at about 70%, so we can definitely go 100% green renewable energy. Thank you.
This is a good question because we all love green, right? Green is beautiful. Green makes us happy. The 6th district, when it was advised to divide up the district, it was by number of registered voters, which is roughly around 8,500. It wasn't by geography. We have the same number of registered voters in our district as any other district, but if you look on the map, this district is the smallest land region on the map. Would that mean also it is very, very dense? And you have multi-units, you have apartments. So the children, they're stuck inside the house to go outside, all they see is pavement. A couple of things that I'm proud that we have accomplished was 3 years ago, we started the tree planting across the Lower Highlands, and as well as the acres, greening the pathway with the EPA agency funding from the state level. So we stopped planting trees. Another thing we working better with the inspection office is to make sure that driveways don't just get paved all the time, that the greenery, the grass, and everything like that need to remain there. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. We'll start with candidate Ford on this question, and I'll pass it over to our questioners.
So in Lowell, more than a fifth of the city lives below the poverty line, leaving them high risk for experiencing houselessness. And more than half are rent burden, paying more than 30% of their income for rent. The need for increased housing in Lowell is clear. What are your plans, to create a variety of housing in Lowell, including affordable, mixed income, and market rate housing?
Thank you for this excellent question. Like I said before, affordable housing is the most important issue right now in our country. It's affecting every community. It's important we address it here in the city of Lowell, and I have some ideas on that. I think in the first 3 months, what I would do if elected, my first motion would be to have a couple community listening sessions from the residents to get their input on how they would like us to proceed forward. I think we need to subsidize housing. I think we need to make ADUs by right. I support that. But nobody should be paying more than 30% of their income on affordable housing. A lot of young people need affordable housing so that they can build generational wealth. That's how our parents did it and our grandparents did it. And we need to give that back to the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you. This is a big issue that the city council is dealing with. Right now, we have, with the city manager, we've got a lot of different ideas in the works. You do need affordable housing, which in my mind you need affordable housing for people who have jobs but just can't afford today's rates. You need housing for people who need assistance, and we need to have housing for people with a mixed income, I guess. So we almost have, say, 3 different types of housing that we're trying to address in the city. Some of the ideas that we're working on right now are the Hurt Street, where the old courthouse is. The city's trying to purchase that. That could be knocked down. That could be opened up for someone to come in and do affordable housing for people who are just struggling. They have jobs, but they just can't afford the rent. And then we need to look at other places where we can create housing for people that need assistance, and they might get Section 8 or whatever assistance. And then the ADUs is a small part, but that will help us also in the city. Thank you.
Again, there's a lot to love about Lowell. We are blessed to have wonderful nonprofit organizations that are already doing this. I like to deal with the experts, those who are in the field on the roads and know exactly the issue. CTI is doing such a tremendous job. CBA, they are already doing such a tremendous job. I think what I would like to do is for City Hall to actually help these organizations to be able to bring this knowledge that they have acquired over the years and talk and bring solutions. Secondly, I would also like to take an inventory of public houses that are empty. And you walk around the neighborhoods, you see empty buildings, to subsidize this building, and the city hall should be able to come up with a plan that can subsidize homeowners who cannot develop their property and also develop these city public buildings so that they should be utilized to solve the homeless issue. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Affordable housing is significant. Every year, the city of Lowell falls short of the new home needed just to keep up with the growing population. A shortage of nearly 4,000 homes in the past 15 years. Failing to produce these homes translate into higher rents, mortgages. 60% of Lowell households are renters. Of those households, 55% are rent burden. And here's what the city council have done is to make zoning changes to lower the barrier in order to increase housing stock. downtown mixed-use zoning, DMU, change the required off-street parking to 0 space per unit, eliminate special permit for 3 to 10 residential unit in the DMU zone district. Also, in the, we call it MBTA zoning, the city proposed a 3 transit-oriented development overlay district to allow multifamily residential development by rights per MBTA community legislation. Require a 15 unit per acre located within a half mile of commuter rail, no age restriction that is suitable for family with children. ADU, a newly drafted accessory dwelling unit ordinance will allow single family owners to create a self-contained living unit with a separate entrance, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom by rights. And I can tell you that the down the street here, you see the acre crossing will produce 33 units. 17 of them will be affordable for family to own and create the generational wealth. So altogether in the acre, we have 100 housing unit will be on board. Thank you.
For your response, yes, thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to our closing statements. So candidates will each receive 1 minute. Oh, I'm sorry. We're missing one
You want to
candidate.
answer, Mayor?
Candidate Chow.
Thank you, Councilor Yam. I think you took all my answers. So that's what happened with me more than the time allowed. People think awards, so don't time me yet until now. And I really appreciate this question a lot because it's not about what are we going to do. These are the action items that myself, along with my colleague on the council, and the city administration are working on already. What takes is the private and public partnership, and also our partnership with the state and the federal partnership, elected officials as well. Just briefly, the council mentioned already, but I would add like the Broadway Street development, the Old Man Valley Food Bank. We just partner with Boston Capital to build 52 units of affordable housing. We still have a few parcels at the Hamilton Canal District, the MBTA zone. What that really means is not just a change in zone of having more units, but for it to build up, because we are limited in the size of the real estate we have. The next development is to move up. We have a limit on how many stories we can have now, so we can actually have more units if you build up higher. We already mentioned Hurd Street, which includes Smith Baker, Gorham Street. So these are things that we need to continue to work on. It's not something new, but it just doesn't happen right away. It's our commitment to come to a result. Thank you.
All right, now we're going to move on to closing statements. Candidates will each get 1 minute, and we'll start with candidate Leahy.
Thank you. Again, my name is John Leahy. I represent District 3 in Belvedere. I've been a counselor for 10 or 12 years now. I started out in school committee. I enjoyed that thoroughly, working 5 terms on school committee as my kids grew up and went through the public schools. Being a counselor has been a privilege. I thoroughly enjoy helping people, and I just love doing this. I love getting into the nitty-gritty, working with the managers that I've had the honor of working with, and fellow counselors. So I would ask for your vote. I continue to take your concerns, take your phone calls, take your emails. I can see what's important to people as they reach out to us, and I love doing this job. It's an honor and a blessing, and I appreciate it, and I'm looking for your vote, and I would appreciate your vote on November 7th.
Thank you very much for the organizers. My name is Fru Kimbeng. My purpose in running for City Council is to improve the lives of Lowell residents, particularly those of District 7. Living, studying, growing up, and working in Lowell, I learned that to whom much is expected, much is given, much is expected. Lowell gave me an opportunity to acquire the good education. She also enabled me to start a family. That is my purpose here today, and that is why I am in this race, not just to hold an office, but to gather with you to transform District 7 and Lowell. I want to win the next battle for equal justice and opportunity. I want to win the next battle for better funding of schools and after-school program. I want to strengthen collaboration with my alma mater, UMass Lowell Middlesex Community College, to tackle environmental and business development. I want to strengthen engagement with the community and the police department to maintain peace and security. I want to fight for District 7 to get its fair share of the budget. You can join me in this uncertain journey to feel destiny calling us. I see a future of endless possibility before us. I sense that this time is now, and I am ready to work and march with you to serve Lowell. Thank you.
Again, my name is Paul Ratayam. I'm representing District 7, including the acre where we're sitting right now. I mentioned that my first two-year term is reshaping the visions and direction of the city, which we have done as the city council. And then I would like to also implementing the acronym of the acre, stand for affordable housing. I already talked over time on that. And community safety. In the 2024 budget, I voted to support a $60 million budget that's supporting $35 million for the police to hire more police officers, continue community policing, and to implement body cam program. $25 million for fire department to eliminate burnouts, hire more firefighters, purchase 10 more trucks. And the R is stand for respect for our veterans and elders. My first motion I filed when I became the councilor on January 3rd was to bring back the laying the wreath, American flag at all gold stars square throughout the city, bring back Hometown Heroes Banners program, continue to support the program at the Senior Center in the city of Lowell. I humbly ask for your vote November 7th. Thank you.
Candidate Zhao.
Thank you again. I want to thank Lowell LTC and beautiful Pollard Memorial Library for hosting us today. My name is Sakari Chow, and running for re-election to District 6, my home area. The past nearly 40 years, I pretty much grew up in the Acre and the Low Highlands, and I love my district. I've been there all my life. I'm married with two adult teenagers, if there's a thing. In the past couple of years, there's now part of the Low Highlands that we did not touch or dealt with as a city council and the mayor. We bring a lot of funds to implement the park, Cambodia Town. We resurfaced Hale Street and Cambridge Street around Glory Buddhist Temple. God Power Street to be on the paving list. So many improvements throughout the parks, Callery Park, Hadley Park, that's outside my district, but it's part of the Highlands, the Armory Park. So many things, Murray School, a lot of improvement to the playgrounds, brought money for the librarians back to the public schools, got money for the field trips. So many things that we've done to improve the neighborhood and citywide as well. This November 7th, I respectfully ask for your vote to return me to District 6 so I continue to work for you and make our neighborhood better. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank LTC, Low Votes, and I want to thank everybody at home. I want to thank those in the audience tonight. My name is Justin Stabunk Ford. I am running for City Council in District 6, the Lower Highlands. I believe in housing, affordable housing, direct representation, and green energy. If you believe in those things, I ask for your support. I'm a young person, and I'm a veteran. I think we need to bring those perspectives to City Council. We need that strong youth voice out there. We want to get them participated, so let's give them a seat at the table. We want our veterans to be seen and heard, and their concerns be dealt with. So send a veteran who knows their concerns to the table. So I humbly ask for your support on November 7th, to District 6. You can learn more about my campaign at justinfordlowell.com. And I also want to invite you to my event that I'm having on November 14th at Nibbana Cafe off of Western Avenue, off of School Street. It's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So I hope to see you there, Nibbana Cafe, Saturday, October 14th. Thank you.
Okay. That concludes our programming. Thank you to everyone who came out tonight to join us in person and those who are joining us virtually. I also want to thank all of the candidates for showing up tonight, the Lowell Telemedia Center, and our partners for their support in helping us put this event together. Election day, as many of the candidates noted, is Tuesday, November 7th. Early voting will take place October 25th to November 3rd in the Mayor's Reception Room, which is on the second floor of Lowell City Hall. For information on how to vote by mail, you can visit the Lowell's website at lowellvotes.org. You can check your polling location at the Secretary of State's website at wheredoivote.ma. This is the second forum in our candidate forum series. Our next forum is on October 19th at 6 p.m. with this year's school committee candidates. You can join us in person at the Butler School or on local access on channels 8 and 26. You can also find a recording of this forum, as well as a recording of our previous City Council at Large forum on LTC's YouTube at LTC Lowell MA. Thank you all again for joining us, and have a great evening.
Now I can stop sweating.
No, it's a good time, yeah.